Whoa boy. Unless you were preoccupied with the abundance of more substantial news this weekend, you probably heard that Vice President elect Mike Pence got an earful from the audience and the cast at the Broadway play Hamilton on Friday. When he arrived at the theater, the boos were so loud that nobody could hear the two people who were actually clapping for him at the back of the house. Then, after the show, the cast of Hamilton took the opportunity to explain to Mike Pence why they are afraid of him, as if he didn't already know.
You know, we had a guest in the audience this evening. And Vice President-elect Pence, I see you walking out, but I hope you will hear us just a few more moments.
This was a brave and tremendously dangerous thing for the cast of Hamilton to do, especially considering Mike Pence packs a gay taser with him at all times in case he runs into any of the 5 gay people who didn't leave the state of Indiana while he was a governor. The cast of Hamilton, an American musical, did the most American thing I can think of. They peacefully protested someone who threatens their freedom. And yet, for some reason, a storm of white nationalists took to Twitter to defend the vice president-elect, including the president-elect, and to call for a boycott of Hamilton, a musical which no white nationalist would ever attend anyway, partially because it costs more than a year's supply of Taco Bell, but mostly because it features a spectacularly diverse cast of talented performers playing politicians that are unlike the sea of whiteness those people are usually comfortable with. In addition to these yahoos taking to Twitter, we were also graced with the complaints of many alt-right sympathizing newspersons, including, I'd like to highlight, the lovely, eloquent, silky smooth voice of Jeanine Pirro.
What happened in that theater, 1 block from this studio, was out and out reverse racism and teed up hate.
Where does she get reverse racism from? We had a bunch of rich white theatergoers booing a rich white asshole, and then we had an African-American actor asking them not to boo.
Nothing to boo here, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing to boo here. We're all here sharing a story of love.
He went on to ask for inclusion and to beg Pence to work on behalf of all of us. But Jeanine Pirro seems to think that asking for equality is tantamount to asking for preference, and that thinking is a hallmark of ignorant white privilege.
For a man who has done nothing to deserve this inappropriate and disgusting behavior.
Done nothing? Let's list a few of the things Mike Pence has proposed that would directly alienate the rights of many Americans, myself included. Number 1, as governor, he signed a bill that made it okay for Indiana businesses to discriminate against LGBT customers, causing his state to lose some $60 million in revenue, by the way. Number 2, he supported legislation to ban or defund Planned Parenthood. Number 3, he has chastised working mothers for working, while encouraging legislation that makes it harder for American families to earn a living wage. Number 4, he doesn't believe in climate change. Yikes. Number 5, he has advocated for creationism to be mandatorily taught in public schools because he doesn't think evolution is a thing. Number 6, he once argued that the Disney movie Mulan was liberal propaganda advocating for more women in the military. I don't know about you, but I am certain that Mulan could kick Mike Pence's ass any day of the week. You know, I could go on ad nauseum about the ways in which Mike Pence dreams about shoving his dirty religious ideology down our throats, but let's pick apart Jeanine Pirro's non-argument again for a moment.
You're alarmed the vice president is not going to protect us, our children, our parents, our planet, our values. Who's left? Al-Qaeda?
I hate to bum you out, Miss Pirro, but you don't get to decide when it's appropriate for someone else to feel alarmed about something. For example, I'm alarmed about the fact that a full-grown troll doll is hosting a national news program, and I am entitled to acknowledge that nightmare, just like it was the right of the cast of a privately owned musical to publicly acknowledge their concerns about the Fourth Reich moving into the White House. But no, you try to turn this into a statement about liberals.
You holier-than-thou liberals in this country have to start looking in the mirror.
No, Jeanine, you should stop looking in the mirror, because there are a wealth of amazing, diverse faces to see outside of your bathroom. Lots of talented, hardworking, scared people who look different than a ratings-hungry whore as she screams fascist bullshit to other bigots. You are so lucky that you have a wealth of morons believing this nonsense you spew. It's mind-boggling. Anyway.
Last night violates everything you say that you stand for.
What did they violate? Standing up for inclusion? Begging for acceptance? These are not the same as bullying people. And to equate the two is false logic. Yes, the audience booed Pence. The audience. In other words, the public. And if you have a problem with the public expressing their opinion about the vice president, then you should get to work drafting an exception to the First Amendment for vice presidents. This is America. People have a right to protest. Even Mike Pence agrees with me on that.
You know, when we arrived, we heard a few boos and we heard some cheers, and I nudged my kids and reminded them that's what freedom sounds like.
And that is probably the smartest thing Mike Pence has ever said in his life, and everyone should take it to heart, even if it means booing Mike Pence out of office. Remember this, to the cretins calling for less freedom of speech or more politeness in this fight, here's the skinny. Everyone has a right to protest. This was not harassment. Ordinary citizens don't often get the chance to speak directly to the executive branch. So shame on anyone that calls it harassment when those ordinary citizens seized the opportunity to relay their concerns to VP-elect Mike Pence. Remember, freedom of speech was included first in the Constitution, almost solely for the purpose of allowing our citizens to criticize the government. When you call into question someone else's right to free speech, you are taking a big ol' shit on the Constitution. So in closing, I'd like to extend an especially big shame on you to Spinmeister General Jeanine Pirro. You know you're misrepresenting the facts. You know you're confusing and misinforming the public. And you know you're doing it for ratings. You're a disgrace to the word journalism. And, frankly, you're worse than Al-Qaeda because you are a traitor.
Al-Qaeda?
Whew. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. You guys are a lot cheaper than my therapist. Don't forget to comment here or hit me up on Twitter @NateClark, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.